This past week's reopening of the Disneyland Resort was a big success. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the highlights of the reopening. We're also going to talk about the upcoming AP program and some of the information that has been shared about that, and also how Disneyland might be trying to manage crowds in the future. We'll also talk about the Jungle Cruise and when that might be reopening, and the latest from Avengers Campus. All of that in today's video. Hey there, my name's Eric D, and on this channel my hope is always to make your next Disney adventure a little bit more magical with tips and tricks, food reviews, and news. So if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. But this past week, the reopening of the Disneyland Resort was a big success. And from everyone I've talked to and everyone that I've watched reports on, they all had a great time. They were praising Disneyland. Even those critics who can be pretty rough on Disneyland sometimes were giving high remarks for what the cast members and the parks overall were able to do. So that's great news. Bob Chapek, Bob Iger, Josh D'Amaro, and Ken Potrock were all on hand for the grand reopening, saying hello to guests and cast members and welcoming everyone back. Disneyland has been sharing plenty of videos and social media posts using the hashtag #MagicIsHere as a way to celebrate the reopening. And special congrats to all those cast members who are back to work, and hopefully we will continue to see more and more called back as additional attractions and food locations are reopened. At the time of filming this, Disneyland is currently still only open to California residents. The state of California has said that out-of-state guests can visit amusement parks if they are fully vaccinated, so SeaWorld and Universal Studios Hollywood are welcoming vaccinated out-of-state guests. But at this time, Disneyland is sticking with California residents only. I personally don't think, as they're just barely reopening, want to have to deal with the headlines of you have to be vaccinated to come to Disneyland, kind of the misperceptions that will come out if they have that requirement for out-of-state guests, and also kind of the drama of, oh, you're from in-state, okay, let's check to make sure you're in-state. Oh, you're from out-of-state, let's make sure you're vaccinated, let's see that card. I think that would cause a lot of extra work as people are getting in, and I think kind of some extra drama. So my guess is they're hoping in the next few weeks or by June 15th, the state will change their policy so out-of-state guests can return, because definitely Disneyland does want those out-of-state guests to return, just based on the fact that all of the reservations have not sold out, as I think Disneyland thought there would be more reservations selling out for Disneyland than there have been at this point. The president of Disneyland Resort, Ken Potrock, spoke to the D23 Inside Disney podcast, and he shared some interesting information, particularly about the annual pass program and its future. But I wanted to call out something he said when asked about how Disneyland will be different when it reopens. He said, "We're still operating under pretty intense capacity restrictions, so there's going to be a lot less people in the parks initially. And quite honestly, hopefully, a lot less people in the parks as we manage capacity to enhance the guest experience as we go forward." What? I think that was a pretty big statement right there. That not only is it going to be that lower capacity initially, but once even things are getting back to full capacity, it's going to be lower crowds because of how they're going to be managing the capacity. And as we've talked about before with getting rid of the annual pass program and how that might look in the future, I really think they are trying to reduce the number of guests in the park, so those guests who are in the park are having a better time, are able to spread out more, and as we've said before, the research has shown that when guests are having a better time in the park, they're more likely to spend more money on gift shop items, on food items, instead of just being cramped in there feeling like they have to, oh, let's go back to the hotel room and take a nap, or let's go back to the hotel room and swim, or let's just try and get as many attractions done as we can, then get out of here. I think they really want to have the park feeling kind of a little bit more open, so people will be more likely to spend that extra money that they're hoping they will. So I thought that was a pretty big statement there, that it's not only a lower capacity right now, but eventually how they're going to manage capacity. That was pretty interesting to me. He also went on to say, "We sunsetted the annual pass program, and we needed to do that really for two incredibly important reasons. One, because of the capacity constraints that I told you about previously, and two, because we thought this was a great opportunity for us to reimagine an annual pass program that wasn't just built on the last couple of decades, but was built on how our guests and our fans wanted to use the parks going forward. So a real high level of consumer centricity. And we're working on that right now, and we'll clearly be launching something before the end of the year. But I think it's going to be an exciting new program that I think people and our biggest fans, and quite honestly our most loyal fans, I think are going to be very responsive to." So the good news there for all those who are hoping for the annual pass program to return in some form, or this new membership program to return in some form, is that he is saying by the end of the year it will be launching. So of course we don't know what that means, but my guess is maybe late fall, before the winter time. I could definitely see them launching that. So keep an eye out for that, and I'm sure they'll be releasing more information. But I think it's going to be interesting to see the price range on that, and also to see just how they work that out, because it's clear they want to decrease the amount of crowds in the park. So I think it's going to be pretty interesting. In that interview, he also said the Jungle Cruise will be reopening this summer. Imagineering has also released more concept art from the Jungle Cruise updates. Here you can see that Trader Sam is gone, but he has set up a lost and found that he actually has turned into a gift shop. And you can see that several animals will also be causing some trouble in the scene. And if you zoom in closer, you can see that there is a cruise photo spot with a camera, which makes me wonder if this will be part of the jokes they tell, just kind of making fun of the monkey taking a picture, or if there will honestly be some sort of picture happening there. I could see that maybe working a little bit better at Walt Disney World, where you have the magic bands or your app that can kind of track where you're at, and they could do a video clip or something like that, but I'm not sure how an actual photo would work at Disneyland. But either way, whether it's just a joke or whether it is an actual photo, I think this is kind of a fun update to that Trader Sam area. Also this week, Disneyland released more images from inside Avengers Campus, and one thing that guests have been saying as they've been going back to the park is around Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout on the floor, there's kind of this different colored pattern on there, and they were wondering what that was. I was guessing based on previous articles. They said that when your web slinger vehicle in the attraction goes into the Collector's Fortress, there is this alien goo that the spider bots can get into. Well, looking at this, it looks like alien goo on the ground, and Disney Parks blog kind of confirmed that. Speaking of the Collector's Fortress, it says, "A late addition to the campus, the Collector placed his fortress against its edges. This placement warped the ground immediately surrounding the alien stronghold, causing a cosmic disruption to ooze from the ground below. Hues of blue, purple, and yellows glow in the daylight." Pretty rad, huh? So that does look like the alien goo. They also released images of Terran Treats, where those cream orbs will be. A picture inside of Pym's Test Kitchen, which Ken Potrock said he really thinks will be the sleeper fan favorite of Avengers Campus. Some more images of Avengers Headquarters. And the former home of Stark Motors, which is now the Web Building. And the outside shows some of the artistic talents of some of the young bright minds who are part of the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, and how they've kind of decorated the outside of the Web Building. So that is your update for this week. It is very exciting that Disneyland is finally open, and that the conversation isn't when will Disneyland open. The questions we're looking at now is, when is the state going to allow in those out-of-state guests? Or at least, when is Disneyland going to whether accept the vaccinated guests, or the state is going to change it so any out-of-state guests can come? And also looking forward to that new annual pass program and what that will look like. But we have a lot of exciting things coming, whether it's the Jungle Cruise or Avengers Campus. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a like, and in the comments below, I would love to hear what your thoughts are on the annual pass program, and Ken Potrock's comment on overall the capacity of Disneyland going down, you know, even when things get back to normal, because they won't be having as many guests in as they manage capacity. I thought that was really interesting. So let me know what your thoughts are on that in the comments below. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see y'all again real soon.